It is the RIOT podcast. Hi, guys. How are you? Good.
So we have today's podcast and then tomorrow's podcast, and then that's the week for us.
Yeah, you know what?
Really looking forward to that.
Looking forward to nothing.
I know, but it's been
it's
a really...
our nothing.
I know, and it's our nothing time. Isn't that nice? And
it's ours.
It's appreciated.
I'll take it.
It's been a very busy week. And again, some people are extra busy now and maybe not as busy, and so you're super bored, but it's just been a week.
Oh, it's been a week, Nikki.
So we'll keep going. We got today's show. Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Let's see. Today in the podcast, we talk about whether Nikki fulfilled her Twitter dreams, her Twitter goals last night.
Did I follow my tweet goal?
Christmas lights, filtered coffee.
That's actually really interesting. It's worth looking even more into.
Quarantine, 4K TV, and Obadiah as a weatherman.
I feel like we talked a lot about that, which is good.
we did. It actually came out to about 10 minutes worth of talking, but that just tells me that, we had some things to say about that.
You did, and I'm glad you got it out.
I'm glad, too. We talk about the iPhone SE. We took a look at Engadget's review for that. The 4th of July. That's another one where it kind of,
got a little real.
We get out of our shell and discuss.
Our fireworks shell.
Yeah. That Michael Jordan documentary again. We talk about something they're doing in South Africa and bidding on an item that is... It's dumb, but the bid is on.
We talk about this auction thing that Obi's looking at.
And I blame Eric.
I know. I didn't say it on air, but I do laugh. Sometimes Eric will get like a notification, and I'm always like, is that Obi? What are you guys talking to about each other? What's going to happen now?
What is he? What
are we doing?
What did you do?
That's just how it is. It's like, what do we have to do now?
Well, Nikki, we have to...
You guys have got plans and ideas, and you're both creative. And
I told him that I would help him get that saw.
Yeah, but it ended... He was looking at a table saw. It ended at over $900.
Oh, yeah, that's not even close to what we were thinking.
Not how it was in the beginning of the day when he came to me and was telling me about it and laying the groundwork to go ahead and bid on it. And then even at the end of the day, he was like, no, that's not it anymore.
Well, that's definitely where I'm at.
Yeah.
Is that I set a top bid for this thing, and if it comes in under, sweet.
You got it.
If it doesn't, well, I'll live.
I'm sure there'll be another one another day.
I don't even know. I've looked at these for years, and thought it would be cool to have one, but never at retail.
So we'll see. You'll learn more about the auction stuff later in the podcast.
Yeah. So enjoy that. And hey, Obadiah plays yesterday. That was the RIOT after show. So if you want to stop by and watch me play Journey to the Savage Planet, that could be a good second screen for you today.
That'll be good. If you can't watch it today, you can at least set it up sometime this weekend. So you can watch through RadioU RIOT on Facebook or our YouTube channel anytime, anywhere, anyplace.
You got it, man.
Have a great day.
Bye.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the RIOT has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the RIOT podcast.
Anybody else feel like it should be Friday, but it's not?
Oh, man.
It's Thursday.
9:31 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday night. Nikki says, and I quote, I need to go to bed on time tonight. I have to stop staying up, and then uses a wonderful Chris Farley emoji invoking the love of God.
It was just it was a passionate plea around the time that I need to start getting ready for bed.
And?
I went to bed a half hour earlier, so that was something.
Hey.
It was something.
Look at you.
Not early like I should, but better than I have been.
Wow. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you.
I think that tweet made a difference. You just gotta put it out there.
You know what? It provided
and held accountable.
I was going to say it provided community accountability.
And I think we need that more often. So don't be afraid to do that.
Good for you, Nikki.
Yay.
Great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job.
Thank
so
you.
I went to bed way later last night.
Way later.
Yeah. So
you didn't tweet, did you?
I didn't tweet. I had some issues last night that were unrelated, and I was like, when I got home, I was just mad. And so, it doesn't make for sleeping super well. So I laid there and watched Mystery Science Theater and eventually fell asleep.
Did that help at least? Sometimes you got to get your mind off of things if you're just if you're not ready emotionally to go to sleep, but your body is, it's hard.
Yeah, so you just got to distract your
mind
a little bit, and then pretty soon you're like, Bed is cozy.
I think I can fall asleep now.
Bed is cozy.
Okay, good night.
Okay, well, I'm going to remember the Nikki method of accountability, and perhaps tonight I will tweet about going to bed.
Let's see if it works.
And I, too, will receive this extra sleep that you speak of.
Twitter suddenly is like, why is there an uptick in people tweeting goodnight or reminders to go to bed?
Well, you know what? If it's working.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you, like, you seem like a spring chicken today. She just kind of flitted into the room like, I'm so excited. And I'm so scared.
I don't know if that is 100% true, but we're putting that on. So
Okay.
We're very tired still, but we're still going to have a great day.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Citizens, good as gone.
Again, why isn't it Friday? Is it still Thursday?
You know what? I don't even know. Let's check.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
You know what's something I was thinking about on my way in today, and I promise you I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but do you remember when this all started and we were like, hey, let's all put up our Christmas lights to be cheerful?
Oh, in the beginning.
You remember that?
The beginning of the stay-at-home for a lot of places. Some thought, oh, what a great idea it'd be to put Christmas lights up to kind of cheer neighborhoods up.
Right.
For people that were staying at home. And even Hallmark had a Christmas movie marathon.
They did.
And then I feel like that dropped away.
Well, you remember when we thought this was like 2 weeks?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's probably
That's
why.
what I'm saying.
6 weeks, 7 weeks later. Have we been doing this that long?
That's what I was thinking about. Is we're just like, yeah, like we're just doing.
We were so
pretend
innocent then,
Christmas
weren't we?
To have fun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, remember when we thought? A bunch of sweet kids.
It was just like a 2-week thing.
You're like, it's really hard to do this for 2 weeks, so we're just gonna like watch Christmas movies and stay in our jammies.
Well, I didn't see actually anybody near me that did put their Christmas lights back up, but I do have a few houses in my like driving around area where they just never took them down. So it counts, I guess.
It does. It still counts. It gave them a reason to leave them up, but no, I saw some people on my commute and in my neighborhood that did that, and I was like, that's so nice. And now they're not up anymore. And I just wondered. I didn't notice when they came down, but they definitely did. And I don't know. Just what happened to all that Christmas stuff, guys?
I'll play it again just for one more moment.
Just one more time.
Just remember Christmas too? We had no idea.
Wait, we had Christmas too?
No, I mean like when it was Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. It's nice.
Aww.
Boy, we didn't know.
Just not that we'd be at home for so long.
Oh, that's a question for discussion. If you had known what was going to be coming in March, how would your Christmas list have been altered?
Good call.
Would you have given different gifts? You're like, what am I going to do with this case of rubber gloves?
You would have bought all those things up then.
Listen, you're gonna be glad. I know what you're thinking.
But you're going to be thankful.
You're going to be glad.
For that and toilet paper and, the disinfectant wipes.
You're going to be glad.
Aww.
So, sorry,
This makes me think more like end of October, November, early December before it gets crowded and crazy.
Good times, right?
Yeah. Oh, just let it sink in. Heal everything. Heal all the stress and the anxiety. Which is why we can't sleep. Oh, that's great.
It's fine.
Woo! Feel
nice.
refreshed.
It's nice. You know what, though? We need a cup of coffee.
I still need to know how I should have it, though.
You know what, Nikki? I want to tell you how to have and I quote, a healthy
Merry
cup
Christmas?
of
What?
coffee. Yes.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
So apparently people drink coffee. Who knew?
Not anyone in this room.
I have my coffee right now. It's my first cup of the morning. Normally I would have had pre-coffee before coffee, but I've gone straight to coffee today. No pre-coffee.
Pre-coffee is what you make at home. You have in your car if you still have a commute, and then you have that while you're driving in.
So according to this study that has just been published in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology, they are saying that coffee may actually make you live longer, that it's good for you. There's just one little thing.
What is it?
Nikki, it's just a little thing.
Oh, I bet I know.
What is it?
Everything we put in the coffee?
No.
No, it's not.
That's a good one.
Because the creamer, I think, cancels all the goodness out.
That may be
if
true.
there's any health benefits.
That may be true. No, what you need is filtered coffee.
Okay.
And you're like,
isn't there always a filter?
No, there isn't. That actually, I'm a coffee drinker, and that was the question that I had. I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean filtered coffee? All coffee is filtered coffee. No, it's not. So, okay, let me just tell you, unfiltered coffee, which I'll explain, contains substances which increase blood cholesterol. Using a filter removes these and makes heart attacks and premature death less likely. So, a version of unfiltered coffee, the French press.
Oh, because it doesn't have a filter when you're putting it through?
Yes, that's right.
Uh-oh, what are we supposed to do then?
Not drink it that way.
Or can you just like run it through a filter at the end?
They also say Greek and Turkish coffee unfiltered, which I guess I have no idea what that is, but it says that is a boiled coffee.
That sounds strong.
Well,
sure, it tastes
Turkish
the same,
coffee
but
does.
It's a bit stronger than what my French vanilla
Yeah.
is supposed to be.
Boy, is that true, right? But what you would get through a drip machine,
Yeah.
filter coffee.
Okay, so you should have the filter.
And I do that AeroPress that has a filter in it. So I hope that means I'm okay.
So are we done with the French press then? Are we not supposed to do that?
You know what? Ever since you got me that AeroPress, I
switched to that?
Yep, haven't done a French press, which is a shame because I have this glorious R2D2 French press, but he's become more of a decoration. And by a decoration, I mean he decorates the inside of a cupboard.
Oh, you got to leave them out. Make a little coffee area.
Yeah.
If there's space. If not.
That
but
is-
your health is more important.
There
So
may
if you
be-
need a filter, then we're moved on.
Might be points of contention on that.
That's something fascinating. Sometimes I feel like, as not someone who's really into coffee culture, that the ones with the filters or what people look down at as the way to make coffee with just like the normal coffee maker in there. Like you should be using a French press or some other contraption.
Yes, I'm with you. But okay, the French press. It's interesting. You remember Jared?
Yeah.
Jared Mark. He visited us, and he and I have talked a lot about coffee, and he actually doesn't like a French press
For that
because
reason, or?
he considers it, and I quote, a dirty cup of coffee. Because it's unfiltered, you end up with a lot of stuff at the bottom.
And now we know we need the filter for health reasons.
Yeah. So Ryan says, what about a Keurig? Ryan, I have no idea.
I think that's kind of like going through a filter, isn't it? It's
You know
probably
what?
built into
Wait.
the cup.
Nikki, now we're advising people on health things.
We should do that. Never mind. You're going to look that up yourself, all right?
Right. Here, I'll tell you what, Ryan. I'm going to send you a link to this CNN.
To the article?
Yeah, you go ahead, do your digging, see what you can figure out.
And it is still hard. Every time we get a coffee article, there's one more that's the complete opposite. So take it as it is and just do what you want with it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just making filter coffee. That's just pure laziness for me.
Now you can have more because it's healthier for you.
It's good for me.
So get another cup.
Part of a balanced breakfast and stuff.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on RadioU.
Listen up, you lazy bums.
He means that in the nicest way possible.
I'm looking at what you're doing.
What's everybody doing?
Well, what I have here is I've got a chart that shows electricity use. And here's what we've basically been able to determine. Y'all sleeping in.
Because it doesn't start till later.
Because you don't have to get up.
That's a good call.
It's funny. It's a look at hourly load patterns. Now, this is in the state of New York, so it's not worldwide. But you can take a look at when morning peak arrives. And what we're seeing is that morning peak is coming much later. Not like much later, but definitely later. And, you guys might be staying up a little bit later, too.
You can see the trend there.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, if given the option, I would probably sleep in, I don't know, as late as 6 or 6:30.
Oh, well, no, why can't we just sleep in later?
No, that's the joke. To us, that's
like, wait a minute, I'd pick like 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
sleeping until 6:30 is a massive sleep in for the Riot. Like, what can I do with all this sleep?
Just because we get up very early.
As a matter of fact,
And still get to go to bed very late. So it's a It's a schedule.
It's best you just do without the sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one way to fix the problem.
It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. So, hey, that's just a little something you're sleeping in, and maybe you feel a little bad about it. Some part of you is like, we need to start getting up.
Well, you got to get up earlier. They say you need to still maintain some sort of schedule. So you want to get up on time. You want to get into your daytime PJs. You got to eat.
Your daytime PJs.
Yeah, you're supposed to change your clothes. You know, you got to wear your daytime ones.
You have daytime PJs?
Oh, yes. And then you have like evening sleeping PJs. Like you have, comfy clothes of all different styles that work.
Well, I like daytime PJs for me. Boxers, bedtime, naked.
Same thing.
Just laying in bed with nothing.
I don't know if they're talking about that. They're talking about, you got to get dressed for the day.
What?
But you don't have to wear still work clothes.
Like I got a toga. It's fine.
No, that's not it. You're supposed to put on your nice sweats. Okay? Your nice
the ones that don't have the holes.
Yes. You got to care about yourself. Put a little bit of care into it.
You absolutely have got to take care of yourself from the waist up.
Yes. Well, for your meetings, you do.
Just in case you're online that day.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I see where this is going.
But
and I'm fine with it.
This is just telling us that for a lot of people, you don't have to worry about it until later in the morning because you're not getting up as early as you used to.
They say typical peak times down 20%, whereas then our peaks are moving forward.
Which I love because we can tell when we get a lot of new podcast listeners because you guys are switching your times listening to the shows to the podcast and doing it later in the day.
Oh, the text messages now are like
all day long. You guys are listening
all day long. They're late in the day. Nobody's listening live anymore. Nikki and I are doing a live podcast recording in here.
Basically.
And you know what? It's fine.
No, there's still a lot of people who still have to get up early. That hasn't changed for everybody.
And you know what? Fist bump to all you guys. We're here.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
Nikki, in this time, in this day and age, what they're wanting us to do is something called social distancing. I don't know if you've heard it, but the idea is we keep a specific distance away from each other.
He knows very well about it, just in case you're listening, like, how does this guy not know this? You can't talk that way. People believe you.
Wow, it's the first time he's heard of it?
You're really out of touch. Really not into these details.
What? You know what? You're supposed to maintain, I believe it is it 6 feet?
6 feet of physical distance.
Physical distancing from people.
Yeah, wow.
That's crazy.
See, he knows, and he's just still doing it to you guys.
Man, I went out yesterday, and I was just hugging everybody I saw. Coughing into their mouth.
He's not. He's just saying that to tease you.
Like, hey, Walmart greeter.
Nope. And none of that happened. He didn't even go to Walmart.
You know, actually, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say you did not.
I didn't. So here's what I got for you, Nikki. Somebody did go to Walmart, though, in Washington, D.C., and this happened right in the heart of democracy, Nikki. Washington, D.C., Walmart, two very American things coming together to keep America stock full of toilet paper, right? So I love this. Someone's going to get on, it's a multi-floor Walmart because, D.C.
Well, spaces, yeah.
Someone was going to walk into the elevator, and the lady that was on the elevator was like, what are you doing? I'm getting on the elevator. No, you're not. No, you can't get on this elevator because you can't stay 6 feet away from me. You can't get on the elevator.
I guess that makes sense, but boy, that doesn't seem fair. But I guess that's what that has to be. What would you do if you worked in you're probably working from home if you were in a big building, like a tall one where you have to use the elevator?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
So what do you think they did?
Waited for the next elevator, or did they get on and just stare them down?
They went ahead and got on. Mm-hmm. Probably began the staring process, though I can't be sure. And the person was on
called the other person a Karen or a boomer. It's one or the other.
No, actually, they just went ahead and busted out the pepper spray and sprayed them with it.
Oh, did they?
Said that they were refusing to social distance and that it was, and I quote, self-defense.
You remember, this is
self-defense.
This is what we were saying the other day. It's all how we do this. Like, it's our attitude when we talk to people.
Right.
Your tone. I don't know if the person on the elevator had a tone when telling them to get off in the first. Who knows? We weren't there.
I don't know either.
But these things might come up more often.
Well,
You can't pepper spray in an elevator. You're going to get
it too.
You're going to get some of the spray back. It's like, what's going to happen?
So the good news is, well, there is no good news. That's it. Somebody got pepper sprayed. The person, here's amazing. The police and medical people were called to the scene.
Yeah.
No charges were filed. Seems like there would be.
No, I think everybody's trying to feel it out.
Yeah.
They probably talked everybody down and out of it.
The victim declined treatment.
Yeah.
So.
I don't want to be pepper sprayed.
No, never.
I also don't want to, like, you just got to stay around away from people.
I don't want to go to Walmart.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean.
What are you supposed to do?
Like, that to me, it just feels like all your Walmart nightmares coming true. Of course you got pepper sprayed at Walmart. It makes perfect sense.
Surprised you don't even need an elevator. It might just happen.
Because Walmart, guys. Walmart.
So it's something just to learn from this story and realize if you're in an area where there might be an elevator or some other reason, you're just going to have to watch out how we handle this with people.
Yeah. Be careful out there. You should get your own pepper spray. That way when somebody threatens to pepper spray you, you can pepper spray them back.
I always carry a pepper spray. I always have one in my bag.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what we need to do?
What?
You familiar with the term escalation? Take it up a notch.
Just keep it on your key ring. Keep it out.
Nope. Don't carry pepper spray. Get a taser gun.
I have a taser / flashlight, so that you can also carry.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't think it's in my bag today, but I have it at home. It's right by the door.
Oh, we got to see this.
It looks like a little flashlight, but it has a taser built into it.
Why don't you bring it in one of your dogs and we'll try it out?
No. Well, what is that about?
Well, I'm not trying it. We got to try it on something.
No.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on Radio U.
Are you guys bored yet? Now, a lot of you have texted this morning and you're like, hey, I'm an essential worker. I'm not bored. I'm tired. But then there are it continues to fascinate me. We all are experiencing this so differently. So there are those people, and then there's you, where you're at home and you're like, I'm bored. I just whatever. So you take it upon yourself to entertain some of your, let's say, younger cousins that are also sheltering in place with you. Well, that's what Amari did. Amari in Woodbridge, Virginia, she was playing hide and seek with her cousins, and she was like, man, we have hidden under the bed, in the closet, just anywhere and everywhere that you can think of. And so she finally was like, how about I hide in the washer? You know, like the washing machine?
Oh, you're not supposed to do that.
It was a top loader.
Uh-oh.
So she opens the lid and she climbs down in, and then she's like, oh,
she fits in the washer?
I know.
How's that?
That's something.
I guess I don't even want to try to find out if we fit in the washer.
No.
We don't need to feel that bad about ourselves.
You
don't want to find that out. You're like, great, I don't even fit in the washer.
Because the
quarantine.
That's the moment I knew I had a problem.
That we gained some weight during our time with the stay-at-home.
So she got stuck in her washer. Mm-hmm. And they had to bring in some first responders. How about 4 firefighters had to come in?
You know what's so embarrassing is, they're probably all really nice looking and just like you're the one that got yourself stuck in the washer and they need to come save you. You'd be embarrassed.
Take a look. Have you seen the pictures?
I haven't seen the picture yet.
It's so funny because there are all these people standing around, and then there's this girl.
She's just in the washer,
just sticking out of the top of the washer.
Yeah, that'd be embarrassing. Oh, yeah, she's 18. She got stuck in there.
That's fine.
At least she wants to play with her cousins. That's nice.
That's what I thought. I was like, I'm sorry this happened to you because you were doing a good thing. She has little cousins.
You're actually playing with them and keeping them entertained.
That was really nice of you.
Yeah, your family will never let those pictures go away.
Ever.
So she's stuck in the washing machine.
I'll have to admit right now,
oh, that's bad.
This one picture of her like looking out, she's like giving some side eye, and you're just like,
stop taking pictures of me, please.
Yeah, it's like, stop it. Her mom, I love this. Her mom's just like, this is a cautionary tale, and people need to know. So she says
it's pretty embarrassing, but all I can do is laugh it off. My family had to laugh at, but as long as I'm okay, it's all that matters.
So
how'd they get her out then? Did they have to take the whole thing apart, or?
It looks
I want to see a TikTok from this or something. Like, where's the video?
Wow, look at that. Yeah, you get to explain it. It makes me wonder. In my neighborhood yesterday, 3 different ambulances in my neighborhood yesterday. No idea what's going on. But the reason I bring that up is I'm looking at this photo, and it's a fire truck that's outside of this house. You know, Nikki, maybe somebody in my neighborhood got stuck inside their washer.
Maybe they did that. I do know in some areas, too, they're also going around, like, for birthdays and just community stuff and, like, waving hi.
Yeah.
Maybe that if you had 3 trips there, of maybe some of that is just those people doing that. Not
so.
all people stuck in the washing machine.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one I feel better about.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, lesson learned. That's not where we're going to be going and doing hide and seek.
I didn't think we needed to say it, but that's one of the things that I learn every day is that every time Nikki and I think something doesn't need said, it absolutely needs to be said.
Problem fixed.
The Riot has now been downloaded. Hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, did you know that they're going to be doing 4K over-the-air TV?
I don't know if I did.
I didn't even know that was, like, possible.
I mean, I have an antenna. Sometimes I would set up for football games, but I don't really watch too much over the air.
Well, you know what? Me either.
But a lot of people do.
I mean, I guess the only thing I really watch, you guys have heard me say it, I have a weird interest in local news. I think I eventually that's where I'm going to work. I'm going to...
you move on to that?
I'm going to work in local news. Probably not in front of the camera. Not good looking enough for that. But
I think you're going to be someone who's on location somewhere else. It's kind of like the... everybody person that they love and
I think, you mean
appreciate.
Like,
you're not going to be like the exposing guy who goes to the local, businesses that aren't doing things right.
I feel like most of the time you want attractive people for your weather, but I think if I could find a station that wants, like, they're okay with me not being like very good looking, but they like the personality. You know, they like there to be personality with their weather. I feel like I could get that.
I don't know. With radio, like, it's nice because you don't always see. You just don't see this.
You don't need to see it.
So you can still have a smile, but, I mean, we're not TV ready at this point.
I'm certainly not. But it's a little something they're calling ATSC 3.0. It's a broadcast thing, but it'll be free. And by the end of this year, it's going to be demoed in 61 broadcast markets, Nikki, including the one where we live.
All right.
So
what do you need? Or same antenna or everything?
I think you might need a different antenna.
Of course. Now we got to buy a new antenna.
I don't know about that. The other thing that's going to be tough is that you're going to have I was looking at this. You got to have, like, if you want to do a DVR or like whatever, you're going to have a new kind of card to get it. So I don't know if you'll be able to just plug in a coax cable or something in your TV. I don't know. I want to do some research on it, but I was going to say it would be really cool if we could watch football in 4K, but there's not going to be any football. So
there will be. It'll come back.
You know what? It's going to be
it'll
like,
all be fixed by then.
It'll be like the early days of HD where they'll be like, it's the 4K sunrise channel. Because
for the over the air.
Somebody's just setting up a camera somewhere like, we can't afford to do anything else, but the sunrise is free.
Yeah, but for the football games, traditionally... those are on the bigger channels. And, well, I guess, yeah, you could then get like ABC or
ABC, CBS, even NBC will show you Notre Dame like you want to watch it, but, you know, it's the...
What is that? Is that because we're tired?
Was that too real?
Because there's Notre Dame fans. There's some people.
I know. Like, you know what? There's a lot of bad people in the world.
And now this is what they've been left with.
What? The truth?
They didn't need that. No one needs the truth during this time in our lives.
You know what? If you're a Notre Dame fan right now, you're just a thrill that I remembered you had a football team and that we're back to talking some sports trash. Yeah. For a minute, you were just like,
appreciate it.
Remember how fun it was to talk sports trash?
Oh, it does feel like things are more normal, right?
Just for a moment, you had a wonderful, shining...
Oh, it'll all come back to that. You know it will.
Oh, Matt says, attractive weatherman. Have you seen Jim Ganal? Dude, I could fill in for him. I'll be that guy.
You can try. Yeah.
You're like, look, you see this like white thing? It's probably going to rain because of the white thing.
If you want to be a weather person, like with radio, you used to have to go to school for this. You used to have like a
broadcast degree.
Yeah, and then that stopped because they figured we just needed personality more than an actual degree. So I don't know with weather, do you need to go take classes somewhere or can you just use the equipment?
Well, okay. You know what? Hold that thought.
Do you know more about this?
We've been talking for a long time. I have a thought about that.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Okay, so we were talking about me being a weatherman.
Well, first
which is not what we were supposed to be talking about.
We were talking about like over the air, like if you get your TV and stuff, they will be doing 4K. You just need new equipment. And then over the air always reminds Obi of he just watches local news.
Right. So 60 markets in the United States are supposed to be testing a new kind of broadcast that will bring 4K over the air. And I'm definitely interested in that. So here's our question. Could Obadiah be a TV weather guy? And here's what it made me think of. Do you know how easy it is to be able to like become a pastor and marry people? I can get online right now and I'm Reverend Obadiah.
Sure.
It's like $4.95. Might be $9.95 if I get.
Does it make you a reverend, or does it just make you able to marry people?
It makes me whatever I want it to make me.
Okay.
So then, is it the same way with meteorologists?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, sometimes they flash a little thing where they're like, our meteorologists are certified by the Meteorology Association of America, the MA. And so.
I swear.
Do you know what Ma is?
I don't.
I've never gone and looked it up. I've never been like, you know what? Hey, Ed, is this toothbrush certified by the American Dental Association? I've never done that to my meteorologist. I've never been like, I'm not going to take this forecast until I see some credentials.
But I bet you some of the old school, like older ones have some of that stuff. And then now you probably don't need it. So you can just get on in there and just confidently read what someone else has told you to read.
I set up a website and I will certify you for $19.95.
Yeah, you could probably do that now.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, you know what, Nikki, oh my gosh. I mean, not to just keep jumping topics, but why aren't we doing that? You and I need to set up a business where we certify people.
All you have to do is listen to a couple of our podcasts, and then there you go. You're certified to be in radio.
All right. You are a Radio Association of Podcast Certification, a RAP. Look, the RAPC has certified you.
And now you can go and do your own podcast.
Boom.
No, we just want to let you know that if you want to do most of that stuff and someone tries to tell you that you need to, you don't need to.
No, I mean, like if you want to go to college.
They might just be taking your money. You need to be realizing you could probably just hop on into it if you want to.
Be careful.
Yeah.
And, do what everybody else does. Immediately get a podcast. But back to me, Nikki. I think we have a green screen in there. Mm. What if Eric and I just practice
your weather?
Yeah, and I'll just keep practicing it. And it, eventually they'll be like, this guy, let's do it. And I don't want to leave the riot. I just want to do weather, when I feel like it. Which is exactly like the weather. It does what it wants when it wants. It makes I'm able to emotionally understand the weather in a way that a lot of people can't.
I don't know if that's going to work, but let's not stomp your dream. We want to build this dream up.
Yeah.
Let's water it. Let's feed it.
Oh, wait, I feel like some rain's coming through.
Some storms coming in.
All right.
Which you accurately predicted.
Wow.
Because you're a weather person.
This guy. He's got next level management written all over him.
I hope one day you do become a weatherman. I want to live to see that.
I don't think I really want to. I just want to get a guest appearance in.
Maybe they do that. You can be the guest weather person.
Yeah. I think that's only for elementary school kids.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So, Nikki, tomorrow is iPhone SE Day.
It is. So pre-orders were last Friday, right? And
they were.
Most people should be getting them tomorrow.
In some cases, they'll ship tomorrow. In some cases, you'll get them tomorrow.
Apple stores aren't open.
Are no Apple stores open?
I don't know. Like ours aren't, I don't think.
I don't think you're right.
I don't think a lot of places are.
I don't think you went and get them. So, but you might be, okay, that may be true, but like, I don't know if Apple's doing any kind of curbside pickup, but say, for example, Best Buy is, and they're going to sell that phone.
True.
So maybe you could, what do you think? You go camp out outside the Best Buy for
I don't think they want you to do that
That's
either.
not a thing?
Nope, you're not allowed to.
That's out.
Hey, how about we'll leave it at
It's
this.
just one more thing the government won't let us do at this time.
You'll have to see how it is in your area and how you can get the phone. But
Right.
I think for most, it'll be if it's shipped to you.
So I looked at, there are some reviews out there, not a ton, but a few. Engadget, who I think of as being a fairly reliable source.
Yeah.
They gave it a 90 out of 100.
That's pretty good.
So here's
what is its Rotten Tomatoes score?
It's kind of that, right? There are pros and cons. I'll give you the cons first. They say the design is dated because it basically looks like an iPhone 8. It's still got the little button on it.
Oh, it has a home button?
It does.
Some people like that.
I know. That I
think my mom misses the home button on her phone. So
Well, when I saw it, I thought, there are some people that see that as a bonus, not as a negative.
Did they put the headphone thing back in? The jack?
I actually don't know. They say the battery life is okay, not great, and that the camera doesn't have a night mode. Now, what they say for pros, they say it's an incredible value. In fact, if you read the review, they say that they think it is the best phone for the money and probably the best iPhone in this price range they've ever, they were blown away by what a good phone it was. Flagship level performance, surprisingly good camera. The A13 chipset gives iOS room to grow. What that means is that over the next few years, as they continue to put out iOS 14 and iOS 15, they're saying that this processor is built to be able to handle that instead of being outdated as soon as it gets updated.
And then your phone will never be able to update well, and it just ruins it.
Right. So they were very impressed with it. It sounds nice.
I think for the price, and Obi was saying last week, a lot of the stimulus checks were starting to go out, and it seemed to look like several people were funneling that money into a new phone, and that's one of the choices.
Dude, a lot of people were buying new phones last week, so
there's an option. I like it because at least you're not using all your money from what you got. It's going back to having a realistic phone. Not everybody needs to spend $1,200 to $2,000 on a phone, and this one seems just fine.
They say when it comes to the processor, are you ready? They say, and this is a quote from Engadget, it's an untouchable bargain, meaning the processor's that good. It's interesting because it's the same processor that's in the iPhone 11. So, there are a lot of things in the iPhone 11 that aren't in this phone, but the core processor itself is the same, which, that's cool.
So the iPhone SE is out tomorrow.
Yep, it's out tomorrow. And
you know what I miss? Tracking. Like you buy something new and you see it shipping. You're like, it's in the plane.
Listen,
you're like, it's coming. I love watching it.
If you get a tracking update on anything, don't believe it for a minute.
Why? Apple's always fine with it. Even in the past, we've totally tracked the plane that it's on.
Everything I've bought in the last month, I'm like, oh, it's supposed to be here Friday. And then Friday comes and goes. And then Saturday night, they're like, hey, we don't think it's going to be there Friday.
Just in case you were still wondering. I know, and that's because there's a lot of non-essential stuff that gets pushed back for essential stuff.
And that's what to you and I, we might be like, hey, that iPhone's essential.
Apple, I bet, is paying a little extra for those to become essential.
It could be. I don't know.
The Riot RadioU.
Listen, I don't want to be a significant downer here, but yesterday... Every once in a while, I hear somebody either say something on the news or in person, and I'm just like, oh, gosh.
You just can't.
Oh. So yesterday, the mayor of New York City was like, hey, guys, we're still going to celebrate the 4th of July. And I was like, wait. What?
Well, some places have been saying, should they, because people probably still at the beginning of July will not be able to gather together in such a large amount like a lot of the city fireworks do.
Okay. I completely 100% get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I hadn't even thought about that.
Well,
because,
you need to.
It's April, and in my mind somewhere, of course we're celebrating 4th of July. Of course I'm going to go get a funnel cake and wish there weren't so many people here and all of that.
There won't be, so you will not have to worry about that.
I'm getting nothing.
You'll have to, like, in my neighborhood, there's some guy who must really enjoy fireworks. So he posted maybe a month ago. He still bought them all, and they're going to still set them off. But we won't probably be able to hang out together. It's like you just watch from your own place.
So that's the other thing that got me thinking is, all right, do you still do a big fireworks display if people can't really show up to watch it?
Yeah, but they always put that on TV. So,
Okay.
again, most of the larger cities, then you just watch it that way.
Nikki, thank you, because that was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're just watching the fireworks on TV...
Can't they just show last year's?
Exactly. Exactly that.
Save some
Why
money.
don't you just run last year's fireworks? Because you're never going to know the difference.
Well, especially with New York City and other places there, we've heard nothing but the fact that they are out of money for more important things that they should be buying for first responders and for things like that. They could take this money and just put it that way and just air last year's fireworks.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea, and I think we'd all be okay with it.
I mean, what if we just didn't tell you and we just put them on the air and it happened and the people like, I couldn't see them from my house. Like, they were in it.
It was cloudy. There's a lot of cloud coverage.
It was a different area than last year. But we totally did it. Didn't you see it on TV? It was there.
I don't hate the idea. You got to be practical nowadays, and that seems very practical.
Man, what are we doing? What's happening?
Are you worried about your funnel cake?
No, it was just one of those moments where I hadn't even thought about the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And to hear him go, well, we're definitely doing something. And I was like, well, not doing something was an option? Is this happening?
You know that's going to be the answer for everything all the way up till Christmas time.
Oh, shoot. They're like, well, at least you can have Christmas, but don't have cookies because...
You can't have them.
Because you can't have the cookies.
Aww.
Yeah. It was a genuine, my mind was just blown kind of moment.
Well, they'll have to really take a look at it, and they should really see if that's important at that time, because I know they spend a lot of money on them.
Oh, yeah. And they could funnel that money towards, I don't know.
Everything else they've been asking for money for.
Everybody gets an Xbox.
No, wait, that's not what we're doing the money for.
It's not?
No, that's not it.
Well, I mean, it's entertainment.
No.
Isn't that what fireworks are? Entertainment?
It's not. And we can even use the money for paying off other things.
Oh, we don't do that here in America, Nikki.
We can, and we should. So
okay,
I'll be okay not having fireworks. I know some people would be sad, but I'd be okay if we didn't even have it.
Man, it's weird. You know, I saw Patton Oswalt. He tweeted that Anne Frank lived in an attic for 2 years, and you're mad because it's been 3 weeks. But that's where I'm at.
You're listening to the worst of the riot, Radio U.
So Sunday night, ESPN had The Last Dance, which was a
documentary.
Why I couldn't get that, I don't know. About Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, and their 95 season? I don't remember the year, but it's the 97-98 season.
It's the one where everybody said, even Michael Jordan said going into it, like, you're going to really appreciate learning about the basketball side of him with this documentary, but really disappointed in the human side of him and how he treated and acted with people around that time.
I really want to see it because it's coming to Netflix in July in the United States. So
we can wait till then.
I got time. In fact, I don't know if we're having fireworks in July, so at least we have this now.
I saw a lot of people talking about it going into last weekend, but I didn't see a lot of people's thoughts on it coming out of it.
I saw some. I saw a lot of people talking about Scottie Pippen in the middle of that. But I don't know. I felt like I didn't have enough context for it, but I do want to see it. I am bothered. I mentioned this when we talked about it last week, but I continue to be bothered by the fact that it seems like the most successful people, the people that really, really, really make it to the top of their fields are not very nice getting there.
Sure.
And it seems like that must be what it takes.
Well, I think
on some level,
Yeah.
it must take something where the outcome is the most important thing, and the people that it takes to get the outcome are less important than the outcome itself.
I kind of wonder, now we feel like we know athletes more than we actually do.
Sure.
And that's basically them pushing an image at us. So we think they're nicer, or we think they're more
Right.
family oriented or philanthropist, or like just more overall nicer people.
And they're coached to be
They're
that way.
coached to do that.
They're literally people that work for every sports organization.
That make that image.
Yeah, college all the way up through the professionals that try to get them to craft a narrative for you.
Yeah, but I think with Michael Jordan, some of those players, probably if you grew up idolizing them, you didn't think they could do any wrong, and you didn't have anything, like scandal-wise saying
Right,
that.
sure.
You probably thought they were just gods at that point. But, you find out that they were, and just like our athletes now, maybe some of them, they all act the same.
Just people.
They're just people.
Yeah. Barb texted and says it's on Hulu right now.
We're not going back to Hulu, Barb.
Can
I'm
I
sorry.
tell you something? Hulu sent me a free month, and I tried to claim
mad
it.
at that.
And when I went back to claim it, they were like, "You've claimed too many free
You've had
months."
too many free months. They wouldn't let you have it. So
They shut me down.
Hulu is dead to him, Barb. He's not going over there.
I'm out.
You already had it too much.
They were just like, "Get out."
And it was so funny that morning. He was like, "Oh, yeah, I'll just sign up again for it. I got another free month." And they denied you.
Denied.
So, yeah, we'll wait till it comes out on Netflix in July.
Yeah. Or, if you want to humble yourself in Hulu, humble Hulu.
Hulu's still getting some love, I guess.
Hey, Barb is still on board with Hulu?
Mm-hmm. Or
So-
she was just telling you about it, maybe.
I'll bet she's on board.
Barb, you have Hulu?
Barb's
Does
got
anybody
Hulu.
have Hulu?
A lot of people do.
Well, if you signed up for that, wasn't it a Disney Plus, ESPN, Hulu thing?
Doesn't matter. If you got it, you got it. They're glad to have you.
That was a thing you could buy for, a better price. It was a bundle.
Let us show you the exact same commercial over and over again. It's Hulu.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on Radio U.
Depending on where you live, state, country, city, whatever, like different places have got different things they're doing during the coronavirus lockdown, right? So lockdown, stay-at-home order, whatever you want to call it. And in South Africa, they have banned alcohol.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, like, if you have some at home and you drink it, whatever, but you can't buy alcohol anywhere
So
in
it's kind
South
of
Africa.
like in some areas where if the restaurants are shut down, you can't get it that way, but you can still buy it for home use, or
No.
no? But if you already had some,
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing they can do if you have it, but they have banned the selling of it during this time. And the logic behind it, this is fascinating. They have 34,000 trauma cases in emergency departments each week. They say at minimum 40% of emergency admissions are a direct result of alcohol. And so they're just like, hey, we have to find a way to keep people out of the hospital so that the only people in the hospital are the people that
are sick from
the
yeah.
coronavirus. And so one of the ways they've decided to do that is to ban alcohol sales. It has taken their weekly admissions from 34,000 to 12,000.
Are people mad though, or
Oh, yeah, people are furious.
sometimes just have to be okay? Like you just have to get over that.
Now, the thing to keep in mind is you could argue, and people are arguing, they're saying, hey, alcohol is a great contributing factor to keeping the hospital admissions low. And other people are like, it has nothing to do with that. It's because we have to stay home. And so,
sure.
There is an argument about whether this is the alcohol ban that's helping or if it's something else that's helping. But they say that it has made a significant impact. And, I mean, it makes sense, but it's not something I think about. But they say that domestic violence, most incidents in South Africa of domestic violence are in some way precipitated by alcohol.
Sure.
It's crazy.
And depending on where you're at and what you're doing, for the stay-at-home, sometimes that's having people drink more than they thought they would ever drink.
Right.
So it's tough. But, yeah, you're right. You don't know it's helping to decrease the numbers.
So they, one of the South Africa's Medical Research Council, they came out and issued a statement that said, hey, if we start selling alcohol again, you're going to see at least 5,000 people a week being admitted to the hospital for some kind of trauma revolving around alcohol. And if we don't sell you alcohol, that won't happen. It's fascinating.
But they're saying that's a temporary ban, or?
Yes, it is temporary. They say that once this is over, like, it'll be back. But in the meantime, that's what they're doing. I'm just fascinated by what they are calling the direct correlation between the two. And I mean, I know we can argue about prohibition. I'm not interested in making necessarily a point, but I think it's a fascinating piece of data. Like and Nikki and I see it all the time. The direct correlation between people doing some of the dumbest stuff you have ever heard of, and it's always because they're drunk. It is never
normally.
I mean, every once in a while you have an outlier that someone was completely sober and did something stupid.
Sure.
But a lot of the really stupid stuff that we read, straight up because somebody's been drinking.
Just have to be aware of it, and they were aware of it.
It's wild.
Worst of the riot. RadioU.
Nikki, I don't think Eric and I should see each other anymore.
Why? Are you enabling each other?
No.
Are you sure?
I think he might. He always, like, when he and I start talking about the auctions, that's when things start to get bad.
He was trying to win one last night, and I was glad he did not because it was too much money. But he
was
wanted
it the saw?
Yeah, is it a table saw? Is that what it's
table
called?
saw, yeah.
And he already has one, but he wanted a better one.
Yeah, but this is a nice one.
His is nice.
This is a nicer one.
Because when he bought the first one, he said that was nice, too. This one's just a nicer.
Well, it's nicer.
Well, what else is there you guys want?
Oh, I recently was gifted in the fall a new computer chair from a friend, and it was wonderful. But something that has popped up in the auctions here are racing chairs.
For like video games where you sit in it?
And it's got a mount for like a racing wheel.
Well, you might need to get one of those.
Awesome.
So are you going to get, is it currently going on?
That auction closes tonight.
Yeah.
But the auction's kind of like,
let me explain what this is. In different cities, there are auction places that you can go to where individuals buy returned or, let's say Amazon had a huge amount of video game chairs, but they didn't end up selling them all. And so they get sold to other buyers who just buy big amounts of them, sell them through these auction sites for a lot less money. You go and you get what you get. Like, it might be damaged or it might be perfectly fine.
Hard to know.
You go and buy it at the auction. And you have to go pick it up.
Retail for these are like $400 or $500, which is just, for me personally, like, no way. Like, way too much, whatever. But
what's the auction?
Like right now, this one is at $60. These are at $30. Now, it doesn't close till tonight.
It changes.
Yeah, I mean, like at the last minute, these things could go for like $200.
But it's a good sign if the auction has several of one item. That means it's usually an over amount. It's not that something's returned and wrong with it.
And I think it would be awesome.
You should get a racing chair
to do that.
You should.
That would be awesome.
Because you like Forza and stuff.
Love it.
You could play it sitting in that.
I have a wheel. Logitech gave us a wheel to demo 2 years ago, I think, and they just let us keep it. So I every once in a while I'll just bust it out and play for a little bit and then go back to.
So what does the chair look like?
Does
it have like a cage around it, or what is it?
Well, it's not quite that nice, but it has let me see if I can find a way to get it to you. It looks kind of like a racing, like what you would imagine in a racing car. And then it just has these plates on it where you can mount like the steering wheel, and then you can mount the
wheel to it,
the pedals to
cool.
it. That's actually one of the biggest issues, is that if you are playing with a toy wheel, like you're a child, which I am, if you mount it to your desk, it's actually the pedals that are kind of hard to find a good place for, because
to figure it out.
They'll slide around and all this stuff. And
You guys are funny. Well, Rick just sent a picture of he built his own table for his basement.
Yeah, okay.
Rick, Obi only builds things when he's on this certain medicine.
Yeah, I ain't got no...
He doesn't have that. He just buy it.
Ain't got no drugs in me right now, so I
Usually
ain't
it's
build anything.
Yeah, it's the I don't know, the antihistamine or something or whatever it is.
Does something to my brain.
And that's when he wants to build stuff, but not now.
Gives me false confidence.
Well, hey, not to enable you, but you do well with that.
That
I think
would
that'd
be
be
cool,
lots of
wouldn't
fun.
it? Wouldn't that be cool?
While they're on there, you might as well.
I just can't fathom that I would be willing to, pay very much for it, but it's pretty damn
Right now,
cool.
it's not at very much.
It's
no,
not.
he won't send you the link till tomorrow, till the
That's right.
auction is
We're not
over.
showing you. I'm not showing you now, because what if I win?
Because we don't want to raise the price anymore. You're not going to compete against him.
No, I'm not, and I wouldn't pay big for it. It's like I have a dollar amount in mind that I might be willing to pay for that. Might.
All right, well, you guys, keep enabling.
Okay, sounds great.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Great, I don't even fit in the washer.